Have you ever had a conversation with somebody and they just didn't want to listen to you? It was so fixed in their brain, their opinions, it was so strong. No interest in your opinions, no interest in what you had to say. It was just like you didn't matter. I remember someone who came to me concerned about some pastoral issues in the church and blah, blah, blah. And there was sincerity and care in them, but I could really feel the hardness in their attitude. They were black and white, you know. And I heard them out, I listened deeply. Then I started to share some stories of Jesus. And that's when they said, I don't want to hear about Jesus. And that was a moment for me that I will never forget. And because I knew that was then, it was pointless to keep going. They were locked into a religious mindset and weren't looking for a relational growth connection. Any discussion after that would be completely futile. See, I want to talk about my faith, explore it, stay open to learning. I don't want to be shut down mid sentence. Have you ever been in a conversation like that where you offer a point, you offer evidence, and they just completely throw it out? They dismiss it, and no matter what you say, they won't accept that another opinion might have merit. How do you unlock a mind that's already made up? Um, you may not be able to change somebody's mind, but if you get the chance, look, here's something that's worth trying. That's a psychologist called Renier Griff told me about. It's called the two trees, and here's how it works. So you get a piece of paper, all right, and you give it to the person, and you say, "Can you please draw a tree on one half of the piece of paper?" And you got to make sure it is their tree. Encourage them to draw any way that they like, and just let them take their time to do it. So I'm just going to draw a tree here. Okay, and here we go. Here's the tree. Boom, bada boom, boom. Here's my tree. All right. And the next part of it is once they're finished, what you do is then you draw your tree on the other side of it. So this is their tree. Then you draw your tree on the other side. So here we go. And you make sure it doesn't look like anything like theirs, okay? That's really critical. Maybe theirs is exquisite art trunk, yours is not, okay? So here's the other tree that I've drawn up there. See? There and there. Very different, aren't they? Now you critique their tree. You tell them that that actually looks like a dog's tail. It looks like a mess. It looks like kind of a rocket. Oh, it's not a tree. No, and you insist that your tree is the only true tree. It is perfect. It is a perfect tree. That tree of mine that I've just drawn there, perfect. This tree, not a tree. Nah, nah, no. And then they start to get the idea, hopefully, that actually both are trees, right? They might say, well, your one looks like a lollipop. Yeah, okay, but it's my tree. I'm going to own it. That is my tree. Then you start to point out what is actually true about both trees. Both have trunks, both have leaves, both have branches, both have root systems, but they are still different. And the goal is kind of a shared understanding that you've just simply drawn different trees. Each one is valid in its own right, and each one has its own reasons for looking the way it does. And if you actually want to understand each other, you have to, and to move forward, the only way is not to pick up an axe or a chainsaw to cut the other person's tree down. It's actually really asking open and curious questions about their tree. Why does this exercise, and I've done it with hundreds of people, why does it actually work? Well, first of all, it's very tactile. Paper and pen, You're doing something very physical, not just arguing. The brain responds to something very tangible. It's tactile. It signals creativity and engages a different part of the thinking. The second thing is this: it's very tangible. Right? It's a piece of paper. You can fold it, you can hold it, you can come back to it later. It's not a vague concept that you can have to hold in your brain. People take this away and they can talk about it and think about it further. Another point is that it shows acceptance. You're saying you have your tree and I'm willing to understand it. I have my tree. Are you willing to explore that and understand it too? So it shows an acceptance that they have a viewpoint that might be different to yours. Um, it also still holds space for your view. You're saying, look, I have an opinion and it is merit too, all right, because it's my tree. And together, that combination often opens a door that arguing back and forth never could. Because for a kind of related approach that works even better, I've got another link called "Simple Words That Can Build a Bridge Instead of a Wall," and you'll have to come over to the blog post to read that. But what should you do when you still can't get through that they just will not listen, not even explore changing their viewpoints? It gets really tough. And I've had a very, I've talked with different people that have had very different trees to mine. Even they wanted to use axes and chainsaws on mine. And I've shared some of the most valuable things in my life with people and watched them get trampled into the mud. And Jesus put it quite plainly: do not give to dogs what is holy. Do not throw your pearls before pigs, lest they trample them underfoot and turn to attack you. And I've had that. Have you ever been attacked for the views that you've held? It really helps to remember that the other person is working from a completely different picture of what a tree looks like. And that doesn't make your tree wrong. Um, think you've got to understand that we are not going to be able to live at peace with everyone. Okay? Fact. Paul writes this in Romans. He says, if it is possible, so far as it depends on you, live peaceably with all. Because I love this verse because it's honest. Peace with everyone isn't always possible, but the part that is within your control is you. So you try. Okay, Jesus modeled this too. He told his disciples that in some towns their message wouldn't be welcomed, the tree would be rejected completely. And when that happened, they were to simply leave. And he said this: but whenever you enter a town and they do not receive you, go into its streets and say, even the dust of your town that clings to our feet, we wipe off against you. Nevertheless, know that the kingdom of God has come near. And this shaking the dust off your feet was a recognized gesture used when leaving a hostile place, and to sort of mark a clean, total break of being part of that community. It's the message has been given. What happens next? It's on you. Sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is share honestly and then just let it go. If the relationship in question needs a more lasting shift, it may be worth rethinking what that relationship looks like. So, when I'm in conversation with somebody else, I often think about these two trees. And in my listening, I genuinely try to understand their tree and all of its complexity. How did it come to be? What has shaped their tree? What flowers does it have? What does it bear fruit? Does it need pruning? What helps it grow? I want to understand the other person's perspective, the other person's view. I have my own tree, my own views, my own perspective. They keep changing. Some things get pruned off, some things grow new. Old wood gets cut away, diseased wood gets burned, and it gets kind of shaped into something that can bear fruit in season. Um, What's your tree like? Is it open to inspection? Are you willing to let someone else understand it, even if it looks like nothing like theirs? And that's a big question because I think for many people, they're being shut down and shot down and cut down with axes and chainsaws that they just fold away and don't want other people to know. But they still long to be known, held, and loved. Just remember that how people treat you may say more of them about them than it does you. Not everyone will be a safe person to show for you to show your tree to, but there will be some. And if you want to talk with me, please contact me. Come over to the website, and there's a contact form, and you can email me, and let's get in touch. Hope you found this helpful. Please like, share, comment. Please comment and subscribe. Okay, thanks.